SBA EIDL increase reconsideration update, about 3 to 4 billion remaining. What you should be doing right now. What are the alternative options? What type of reality you are facing, and so much more I will be covering in this video. My name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and we are live. So if you are here currently, please give me a hashtag live in the comments, or a hashtag replay if you are watching this later on. I know this wasn't broadcast, and this is more of a spontaneous come up. So if you're here, I greatly appreciate your time. And if not, hopefully you can catch this later on. Now I'm going to jump right into this. You know, if you've been watching me, I've been coming out with recent updates on the EIDL loan, as well as all other types of funding options, which I will get into shortly. So you're not left on the table wondering, what should I do now? I did not get the EIDL, or I did, but I'm looking for an alternative. Can you please help me figure out? I'm a startup, non-startup. I'm looking for all of these ways to access funding. I know it's out there, but I just don't know where to go. I will be covering all of that and much more. So please hang in there with me. Now, the funds are being depleted. They could be gone just before the end of April, as early as the first week of May, but unsure the way that it's being depleted every single day doesn't look like it'll even get there. So I just recently released a video that I'll try to link to you down below in the description about the EIDL reconsideration and how you can get a template on that, where to go ahead and email, where to go ahead and reach out at this time, and so forth. So if there's no description yet below, I will have that in time. So please, when you come back, you can find everything in the description. But what I want to get into is, you know, do you have an increase? Have you requested one? Let me know down below in the description or in the comment section. What are you currently waiting on? So I speak to business owners on a daily basis, and I'm telling them, hey, this amount is what's remaining. What are you doing? I just recently put in an increase. I just recently went through a reconsideration, or I just went through a reconsideration and they told me that I was not eligible. And I'm not going to cover all of the reasons in this video. I just made that not too long ago. Again, I'll link you to that video down below in the description. But what should you be doing right now? You should be going through your portal, seeing if you have like a blue button or a link, going through your email, seeing if you've been contacted through the SBA, or perhaps you never reached out to them about an increase, so they never got back to you in case you didn't see that button. But that's something you'll want to do. And I won't get into the whole, what are the documents needed in this video, like the 4506C, the 2202 form, right? Your tax returns. We're talking about financial liabilities, the schedule of liabilities. And then some closing documents may be necessary, but not for everyone. And so these are some of the documents that are required, and you should know that the funds are being depleted and that they will be gone here soon. But what should you do as an alternative option? Don't get strung up or hung up that you did not get an EIDL loan, or you did, but you're like, well, I'm sitting, like I spoke to a whole bunch of people last week, and I asked them, what were your reasons for getting the EIDL loan? What would change if you wanted to go elsewhere? And a lot of them go, well, I'm just not even needing the funds. I'm just sitting on the low rate at 3.75%. And I know that if I go somewhere else, there wouldn't be that. Perhaps you don't have any collateral to give up. And if you did, I want to make this a mention. If you're an individual, I spoke to many of them this weekend who are like, well, I'd like to have something between 1 to 4%, 1 to 2%, maybe 0%. I'll get some of that into that, how you can get 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. And I'll leave that information down below in the description. But when people come to me and they say, well, I want 1 to 2%, I want 2 to 3%. First of all, I ask, do you have any collateral, any assets to give up? And if the answer is yes, I'll ask, what type of assets do you have? Commercial real estate, I have these properties, I have these amounts, and I'm seeking this amount of funding, but I can't get that through the EIDL loan. I'm expecting to have a 1 to 2% interest. And I go, well, that's not going to be possible. I mean, when we're looking at online lending, it's not even going to be, if it's accounts receivables, you're looking at about a 3.50 prime rate right now plus 2%. At a spot, it used to be about 2%. Now we're looking at a 3.50% prime rate plus 2% on accounts receivables, aging account receivables, unpaid invoices. And I'll get into how you can use that as collateral to get the funding, even get up to 95% of your aging receivables. I spoke to so many people last week on that, prior to that, and I still am doing today, where they're like, yeah, I have unpaid invoices. I would like to get $700,000 in funding. And I really asked them the question, are you really needing $700,000 right now? And some people do, because they're like, I got to go pay this vendor off. I have to really go pay this. And if I could use that $700,000 right now and pay somebody off right away, that would be great. And there are a lot more reasons to that. And I'll be getting into the share screen in just a moment. So please hang in there with me. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to voice them to me. On another note, the $55 billion from the House passing the bill and going through this whole economic relief for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and then more for hard-hit areas, about $13 billion, $1 billion for grants coming here soon. That is all in the works still, being processed. It isn't something that's currently available. How it has to get passed through, everything else after that. And so that's still in the process, but I wouldn't, again, be waiting on that, because you don't always have the certainty that you will get approved. The thing is, we're all waiting for another PPP loan. We're waiting for the EIDL loan to be extended. The deferment is one part. Having more funds is a whole nother. And then we're waiting for the grant opportunities. And I get it, when we're all at different stages in our business, a grant may be the only opportunity as we're a startup. So I'm going to get into the share screen in just about 30 seconds, excuse me. But before I cover that, I have a few things that I wrote down here on my notepad that I want to cover. I have just put a few videos together today, and it is Monday, April 25th, 2022. And I will be releasing some coming this week with no doc funding. And when I mean no doc, I really mean like credit card type of financing. And then if you're looking for low docs, I'll cover that in that video as well as a few other review videos that I've done. So please look out for those coming up. And if you have not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. I'd be very humbled by you. And everything is about helping you as a human being first, for me, and then second, getting to really understand your business. And that's the approach that I take. And I've helped out businesses of all different industries, of all types of magnitudes. I've really put the ball in their court, and I get a lot of feedback, and then I get a lot of people who don't give me any feedback. And when I don't get that, it's like I'm stranded on an island just trying to, like, on the typewriter, put the next email together or put the little document together to see if Susie or Jack over here is ever going to give me any feedback. Perhaps they go and find a funding option. And I have people that come to me every single day asking me about increases, reconsiderations on top of other funding options. And really, what I say to that, when people come to me and they go, can you help me with my increase? I'll say, have you emailed? You haven't? Okay, this is a step to take. Have you tried contacting them? Because there's not just a quick number you can get a hold of them. And there are emails out there, there are contact numbers, but it is very difficult. And again, I'm going to leave that video down below that covers more into the reasons why you've been denied for an increase. And you might want to watch that. A lot of the times it comes down to owner verifying ownership, and then also your credit. So I won't get into the specifics of that. That's not what this video is meant for, but I do want to jump into some quick alternatives. I'm going to get into the secured type of options you have available. But before that, and I know I said 30 seconds, so hang in there with me, is you have to understand that if you want a lower interest, you have to give up collateral, or you have to have a spectacular profile where you're not securing it with collateral, but you may be falling in between those 10 to 50% range in a total payback, a rate, an interest rate, etc. You just have to understand that at the end of the day, it's not about, do I get a monthly payment? It's not about, is it very long term, 2+ years usually? Is it this type of structure? You have to think about the repayment. The repayment. Am I getting $800 per day? Am I getting $400 per day to pay back? Is it $200 per day? $150 per day? and you calculate it and say, what does it look like on a weekly, bi-weekly, on a monthly basis? I preach this and I say it every single day, yet business owners come back to me and they go, well, I didn't get that. I started this application, but I didn't understand. Well, because you didn't take the time to actually watch a video. You didn't take the time to read a blog post. You didn't take the time to go through my email that I sent you. And you didn't take the time because you say you're busy, but in reality, that's only an excuse. And I love each and every one of you. You guys are everything to me, but I never make excuses. I was there where I'd say, I don't have time to watch a video. Can I get on a call with you? Can I do this and that? But you don't take the time to go through it and really understand. And what I mean by that, I'll get onto the share screen right now. One moment. I have this, I downloaded this like software that shows me when some programs will crash on my computer. I haven't gotten the premium version, so it'll like show up as a pop-up from time to time when I move my mouse. I won't say the name of the company, but I'm sure some of you guys probably have faced the same issues. And then it looks like the screen has stopped responding. I don't know why it does that sometimes with Google Chrome, especially when I haven't opened up anything. But again, I'm going to leave everything for you guys in the description for you guys to learn more about those alternative options. Let me come back over here. Okay. So what you all are looking at. So I have a structure in my business, everyone. Like you guys do in your business, the way people get a hold of you is this is the way I want you guys to get a hold of me if you have not gone through it already. So this is a free questionnaire you can simply fill out that let me see if I can link you guys to it here in the comment section. So essentially what will happen is you fill out some simple funding details. It should take you no longer than 30 seconds. And I will be able to get in contact with you. You submit this questionnaire form. I will give you an email response back on your best funding option and options. I think we froze there for a second. I don't know if you guys can see this. There you go. Apologize for that. So you submit this questionnaire. It'll land in my email. Well, then I will analyze, evaluate it, and give you a proper response back on your best funding option and options. Very thoroughly broken down into numbers if need be, the qualifications, how it works, everything you need to know about getting funding. Now that'll be down below in the description. Now let me move over to this screen. Let me see if I can do this really quick. Might not let me. Okay, here we go. So there are some funding options available if you have collateral to give up. One of those being an AR line of credit is what you can get for accounts receivables. Any unpaid invoices you have, you can offer up as collateral to get the funding that you need for your business while keeping your low rates, while getting these monthly repayments and so forth. So a revolving line of credit, facility size, $250,000, and there's no cap. Line of credit amount fluctuates as AR fluctuates up and down as you have. Rates, they start at prime plus 2%. So right now it is at 3.50, up 95% financing of current account receivables. 4 to 7 days application to funding, so it's really fast. You can get in and out within a week, and even less time than 5 days. Minimum 100,000 in open receivables on 30 to 60 day terms, $1 million in annual sales, 1 year time in business, and no minimum FICO is required. So this is just one of the many options we can get you if you have any unpaid invoices, etc. Also, there is an inventory line of credit, a revolving line of credit, facility size of $250,000 and no cap, line of credit amount that fluctuates as inventory fluctuates up and down. Rates, they start at prime plus 2%, up to 85% financing of inventory liquidation value. And then this is a little bit more, but 7 to 14 days application to funding. And then the qualifications, 1 million in current inventory, 1 million in annual sales, 1 year time in business, no minimum FICO is required. And you can see some of the industries that I've helped get funding, as well as what is available, and many, many more. There are collateralized programs here to look at. You have loan sizes of 100,000 up to 10 million. Monthly payments are available, 75% max loan to value, LTV, first, second, and third liens. Qualifications, real estate or heavy equipment collateral is required at this point. No minimum FICO. Premier program requires $1 million in annual sales. And then you can see there's more options on the table there. Financing for healthcare, and so much more. Woman empowerment loan, same day funding available, all industries, 6 to 24-month terms available, up to $5 million funded amount, flexible terms. Qualifications, you have to have 1 year time in business, 6 months to time in business if depositing over $50,000 per month, $25,000 deposited monthly in business bank account, or $300,000 in annual sales, and then no minimum FICO. We also have a veterans business loan with similar details there, up to $5 million funded amount, flexible terms, qualifications, similar to what you were just seeing in a way. So those options, as many more, are on the table. Now let me move this out of the screen. So these are just some collateralized, secured by putting up unpaid invoices, and we can look at getting you financing outside of the EIDL loans. So perhaps you're in a situation where you have equipment to give up, you have real estate, account receivables, unpaid invoices, right? Inventory, stocks and bonds. You are not limited by just going to the EIDL loans. If you're requesting anything over $500,000, you know what you could give up and you know what is accepted. You have the SBA 7A/504/CDC or SBA 504/CDC, excuse me, and then the SBA 8A mentorship program. So you have options on the table that I'm going to leave for you down below. If you qualify for the SBA 7A loan, I'll leave a little quiz there so you can go through it. And if you don't qualify, it's not a worry. You'll get presented other options. You have collateral to back it up with. I know if you're sitting at 3.75%, that sounds very attractive, and it does. You may have business expenses. You've been denied through the EIDL loan, the increase. We're limited on funds. What are you going? You have to ask yourself, what will you do after this is done? I'm going to wait for the next EIDL loan to reapply, and I'm going to wait for them to process my application within a year, like the PPPs and so forth. I'm going to wait. Or do you really need to use the funds now for business expenses, for business growth, expansion, just payroll, debt consolidation? You have to really think about what position you are in your business. And if you're just looking at getting this for survival money, you have to be very careful because it's not something that's going to be given to you. And if you qualify, you have to think about it. Do I take the funds primarily used for survival purposes? Well, I have to tread carefully, back up. I don't need it, or I'm going to take a little bit and then I'm going to apply more as I keep using it, as I get comfortable and I can make the repayments. Then I go ahead and say, this is what I did a lot. I scale back, I get what I can get, business expenses, I have to grow marketing-wise, advertising-wise. I got to do it for this when I'm just doing inventory, paying off vendors. Well, I have to understand, where am I currently in the marketplace? But a lot of people, they just want EIDL loan. I see it every day. But my question to you is, what will you do on top of that when you get it, when you don't get it? Are you just going to be out there trying to seek survival money, but you don't have sufficient cash flow? And I get that if you're not in a position, but you have these options on the table. Now, very quickly, some unsecured options where you don't have to offer up any collateral. You have the merchant cash advances, the hybrid merchant cash advances. You have certain term loan options, but they won't give you a long term, a lot of the cases. And then you don't have enough in revenue per month. Perhaps you do, so you're looking for a little bit. If you're in a situation where you have collateral, you just don't want to give it up. Instead, you go, well, I just need working capital. I could take $40,000 right now. I do over $300,000 a month. I just want $440,000. I know what I need to use those funds for. Great. Take this. We give you, maybe qualify for enough terms of 12 months. Maybe it's just 8 months, 9 months. And you're like, that's sufficient enough for me to use. But a lot of people will not come to terms with that. So I covered that. I covered a few options on the secured, on the unsecured term loan options. You have lines of credits that are available out there for you to seek outside of the SBA. Those are great recommendations. You can get up to $250,000 unsecured, meaning you don't have to back it up by collateral. If you're over $250,000, usually collateral is asked for at that regards, and what we can get from you. And we can get you processed very fast. And the type of payment structure can be weekly and even monthly repayments, especially if you're offering up collateral. We can then see if we can put you in a monthly range. But it's not always something that's given, or it's not always something that you should take. You should think about how you're bridging that money to use it. So I won't get into some of the stuff that I wrote down here, like calculating, which you'll get 2019 gross revenue minus cost of goods sold by 2. And then you have to subtract that by the loan that was given to you about a year ago. I won't cover that. What revenue states, it's little documents that I went over, what might be asked from you for increases, the reconsideration stages, that other video for the reconsideration template, and I'll try to leave it here underneath in the description time. But the 2202 form, the 4506T, and all aside from that, just to conclude this video, if you do need help getting business funding, again, I will update the description if it's not something there right now, which shouldn't be, but in time it'll be there. So please refer to that. Fill out that questionnaire if you do need help getting business funding, and if you already have, I'll do my best to get in contact with you. I know I'm very busy. Sometimes I don't get through some of these forms every single day, but I will get back to you. And please be patient. There are a lot of alternative options out there outside of the government. You got to stop, if you're in the growth and expansion mode, especially that, ask yourself, am I getting an ROI out of this within the next week, 3 months, 6 months? Is it a yearly thing? Am I going to have this in 2 to 3 years? So I need to get funding that's going to be in more terms. But a lot of the times it is a no. And so you have to be considerate of those things. Now, I guess I want to leave it with this. The weekend I had, amazing. Did a lot of leisure activities, just hung around the house. Had some good food. On Friday, that was a good time because then I had salmon. Salmon was delicious from Costco. And then I believe, it was Friday. And then with some rice, some pineapples on top of that, and a few other sides, but it was delicious. Saturday, just hung around, watched, I think it was a Dodgers game. Yeah, I think there was a Dodgers game on Saturday. That's what I did. And, I'm not a big, baseball geek. I just enjoy watching a baseball game from time to time, and it's not my primary sport. I played soccer Division I, but watching baseball, as I started to do that a little bit more, it's just a good way to just, America's pastime, just to relax and see what pitch is coming, what's the batter going to do, and what's the team doing overall. It's just a good way to kind of control that patience and develop it. So, and I'm also a very brainy person, so I always like to observe and see things that way. But that'll conclude everything from me in this video for the SBA EIDL Increase Reconsideration. I know I didn't cover where's that template, what are the reasons for being declined, how to contact, who to contact. That I'll leave a video for down below. I wanted to get into this just to go over what are those other options available. Showed you some of them on screen. If you have collateral, accounts receivables, other forms of collateral-based funding. If you don't have any collateral, that's okay. We can also offer up some other, not offer up some other product or collateral that you may have, but offer up some other services like the merchant cash advance, shorter term loans, lines of credits that are unsecured, and so forth. That I'll leave for you down below. Personal loans, startup loans. Oh, and one thing too, if I'm not going to get on the share screen for this, but we can also get you to about 150,000 in a credit line, a hybrid credit line for startups and non-startups for no docs. So even if you have no cash flow, that can help you. And I'll be releasing a video that here maybe tomorrow or sometime in the week about how that works, how it's been able to be helpful to myself, and how to build business credit and everything. Well, I'll talk about that as well as leave it for you down below in the description. Just know that when I'm asking for information from you, a lot of the times people will withdraw because, well, they're like, well, I don't want to give up credit. I don't want this to affect my credit. For a lot of these types of funding programs, it is a soft pull. So it won't affect your credit. Will it affect it at some point? It depends. Maybe it's some form of real estate financing. Maybe it is another form. But for the most part, the whole process can usually be soft pull. A lot of it, if it's hard pull, it's because we see something in the credit report that's not sufficient. So that in that case, we'll have to extensively look at things. So you have to be wary of that. But At that level, usually it's from the SBA. If it's an SBA 7A loan, for the most part, hey, any type of SBA, usually it's a hard pull. Not a lot of the time is it a soft pull. You can tell me you have a certain credit score, but it's government related. It needs to be evaluated, especially when we're looking at these tax returns. You filled out a couple of applications. Well, let's look at that credit report history, and I'll leave more information on how you can get access to those from the credit bureaus and so forth. It's consumer reports. So all in all, I know I recapped a little bit earlier. Just stay true to yourself, continue to build, grow, and expand your business. And even if you're trying to get out of that tight pinch, and just know that I can help you along the ways. Bring in a lot of stuff that you get to know me and you get to know who I really am and on a personal level. And a lot of people like that. I always humble myself. The way I carry myself, I discipline myself in my work, outside of work, in my life, personally. And like after this, I'm gonna go get a fruit bar in the pantry from Costco. Like I got the value pack or the big bundle, like in the blueberry. I think it's like a strawberry version. I think it's just those two. So I'll be getting one of those fruit bars, eating it, going to go sit down at the couch, looking out the window. In the living room, I have like this big, not a cabinet, but shelves where, I put my dog and like, not my dog, but like his passing and his remembrance. We have things of him right there. So I go sit down and I kind of just relax and I literally speak to my dog, to be honest. I don't think it's like a bad thing, but I develop a thing every time before I go to bed. He's right there in the living room with us, and so I'll, say thank you for being here today. And, I'm appreciative of what you've done to our family and how much you've meant to us. And so every night it's like hey, good night. We'll see you again tomorrow morning. And we'll pick things up from there. But it's always something that I do. And I've picked up a lot of things spiritually and how I work on myself. And I want that for you guys to work in yourself. What you show inside, you'll show outside to everyone else. And that's not just in your business, but that's on the personal level. So if you have, a family, you have daughters, you have sons, maybe you want to be more involved in their life. Maybe you're too caught up in your business and you want to find that leisurely time. This could be it for you if you're looking for the business funding that will take care of your business. And there are many more ways to grow with a website presence, with getting a sales funnel in place. That's also what I help people with understand is, hey, if I have higher ticket products with these prices, well, what can I do underneath that? Well, maybe you need to get a front-end product to help you come to that level and see what you can offer down here. Maybe it's something for free, and then you offer something on the back end right here for a few $97 or $100. And then when you get to your higher price products at a $15,000 range or so forth, give or take, what do you do at that point? So it's all about building, growing, and expanding, as well as, like I just mentioned, getting out of that tight pinch. Now, that will conclude everything from me. Once again, make sure to look for my future content that I'll be coming out with on SBA, grant, 7A loans, 504 loans, all other alternative funding options. If we've spoken, I'm still waiting for some of your guys' emails. I'll be reaching out to you guys soon. A lot of you guys go cold. A lot of you guys go Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I say that not in a bashful or bad way or negative way. I say that more in a, like, where have you gone? No feedback. Like, I'm not pressuring anybody to do nothing, but when people say they're going to do something, you know what you should do? Follow through. And a lot of people go, well, I'm busy in my business and you don't know what I have to do every day. You don't know what I do every day either. You don't know that I have 3 or 4 other businesses that I have to run. I've told you guys a lot of that. And I wear multiple hats in my businesses, but I still have the time here to make a 30-minute video. If I have the time to make a 30-minute video for you guys, do you guys have time to go watch that video that I produced, that blog post that I put together that I actually broadcasted today? Perhaps you watched that and you saw it. Good job if you did. Awesome. And perhaps other parts. But if you're just like, give me, without, hey, take some time to watch that video. Take a little bit of time, relax, take a breather, relax. When you're not working on a weekend, you're telling me you don't have time to watch about a 10-minute video, 15, even if it's longer. But I'm working, or, oh, but I'm with family. Yeah, but that's a but, right? It's not and, but. So when I hear these things and I hear people say, I'm going to go ahead and contact you back, and again, it's no high pressure, nothing. Like today, I haven't reached out to a good amount of people because I'm like, I'll give them a day and see where they're at. And a lot of people go, well, no, well, then you could have avoided all of that by just saying no thanks. You could have avoided it by asking a question. You could have avoided it by saying something. But I'm doing my part just to follow up with you very nicely and humbly. But when people go their own way, they think that's what's best. So you have to be careful about what you think is best without listening to a loan broker / agent, because I know a lot, like a lot. And so when people try to do it their way, it usually doesn't end up working. And when it does, people go, well, I got this offer. Can you? And a lot of people come to me and they go, this is the offer I received. Is this legitimate? Should I go somewhere else? What do you recommend? And I gave them my most honest opinion, not because I want to earn the sale. I don't. It's because I really care. Like if I could just have you guys right here sitting here, like, hey, we wouldn't even talk about business for like, I don't know how long, but we'd probably just be asking you questions on, hey, how's things going in your life? How are you doing? And so forth. And that's what I take the time to do. The human factor is what's very important to me. So that'll conclude everything from me. Please refer to the description for more information. If you submitted a questionnaire and I haven't gone back to you, I will do my best. I filled out about 15 to 20 last Saturday that just passed. So I've been on my horse on that. I'll be appearing on TikTok from time to time. I'll go live there after this. I'll take a little break to go then do that. So if you guys are following me there, please feel free to join me, and I'll cover some of these topics to an extent. And yeah, that'll be everything. Take care.